What's happening? And this bitch kicking cacks singing cool. You already know what the fuck it is. So let's just dive into this shit. Check it out. My nigga, I'm finna do this wake and bake, you know what I'm saying? So, nigga, let's get it.
Only on the west side, man.
This nigga FENDI, cap.
Yeah, I can't lie, man. Every time I'm driving these LA streets, I think about how far I came and how much further I gotta go. Yeah, it's my first episode, so I knew I had to come to Cali to make sure it was special, with a very special guest. 12 years later, I'm gonna sit down with somebody I ain't talked to in years, try to get to the bottom of this shit. I'm from Brooklyn, Brownsville, Brooklyn, if you never heard of it. It's about 4,000 miles from where I'm at now. If you can make it out of there, you can make it anywhere. Oh boy, here we go, man. A day in the life of me. Let me think, man. I'm so nervous with this.
You should be.
It's my first sit down and a long sit down. Listen, man, I don't really do this a lot, but first podcast episode, first guest, the one and only. I know her as Nicki Minaj, but that didn't work, so we switched it up to Nicki Minaj.
That was fine, in my opinion. You changed it to Nicki Minaj, and yes, I prefer till this day Nicki Minaj, which is my last.
Well, shout out to Nicki Minaj.
Shout out to Nicki Minaj.
She was out there back in the day.
Yep, and what?
Oh, there, but Nicki.
And what?
Listen, man, yo, here it is, man, the one and only Nicki Minaj, man. Hey. So first of all, let me start off by saying I'm nervous.
Don't be. Shut up.
I think I'm nervous.
Just imagine me being my scraggly self with the baby fat purse.
Yeah. Remember that photo shoot we did in that abandoned building that time? This guy won't let me live that down to this day. Shout out to White. White be like, yo, man, you was in my abandoned building and she had no shoes on. I said, yo, yeah, okay, boy.
We was on a come up. Really.
Yeah. He really, every time I see this guy, he be like, yo, you was in Brownsville. We went to Brownsville. That's what, I guess that's the come up is really about, just doing stuff that you would never do now.
I would do it now, and I want to say something that now that you said that, I don't know why it's like when people make it a little bit, the fans look at them as a new person.
Yeah.
Or they'll look at it, oh, Nicki wouldn't do this now. Or the other day I posted something about eating, about Wendy's. People were literally saying, bitch, don't act like you eat Wendy's. What are y'all talking about? So what do you think I eat? I remember a couple of my friends came over to spend the night when I was living in Malibu one time, and their boyfriends were asking them, so what does she eat for breakfast? The fuck do you eat for breakfast? Yeah. Like nothing changed. Like I'm still that same exact person that was on the Come Up DVD, and people start looking at you different. I understand when Jay said it's not I didn't change. It's like y'all changed. Y'all start looking at me different or expecting me to be different, but I'm the same person.
So you telling me you still go to Margarita Pizza on
Absolutely.
Okay.
When I go to New York, I gain so much fucking weight. Like that's why I was on Jimmy Fallon looking at 1,000
So what's one of your still? Wait, how many years in the game you would say? I would say you got 9, really, 2008. What is it? 11 years, maybe? 12?
Yeah.
11, 10?
Yes.
10?
Somewhere in there. My debut album came out in 07.
How many years of loving the game?
Or 2010.
How many years you think you loved the game?
I've loved the game for at least 15 years. Because I was trying to get in it before that. Before I was on a DVD, anything. I was trying before I met you. So, I was loving the game for a long time.
Do you still got the same love?
It's different, but I want to clarify that question. I still have the same love and passion for music.
Okay.
It's different. The music and the game are different, and you know that.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
do you think bars still matter?
I do. Do you?
Yeah, definitely. I can't listen to nothing else if it's not having any bars attached to it.
I mean,
I'm not listening to really nothing right now.
And that's the thing, and that's why. And sometimes I feel like I'm in a dilemma. Do I dumb it down to go with what's happening now? And that's why it'd be so hard for me because I hate putting out something that everybody else is doing and looking like I'm on the bandwagon. I always like to try to switch it up. So, but at the same time, if you want to make it in the game, you kind of like have to follow waves and trends, and so that to me is like the biggest fucking thing that irks my soul. So I'm always between, you know, but on the album that we're working on now, I feel like I'm finding a great balance. I feel like it took me a minute to find the balance of being me and giving the people what they're hearing now, but I feel like now I'm finding a balance.
You feel like you raised the bar for maybe, like I think brown skin rapper chicks, no disrespect, but I think since you came in the game, it kind of made it hard for them.
Really?
Yeah, I think brown skin chicks got to work a little harder. I think it's like you set a bar for like brown skin chicks to be like, because a lot of chicks at that time was like, oh wow, well, Nicki popping right now, I gotta be at least trying to catch up to look like her somewhat. And a lot of brown skin chicks really, like I think brown skin chicks got to work extra harder.
Oh, well, I will say dark skin and brown skin women have to work extra harder in any field.
Yeah.
Just like how I feel being black, a black woman, I feel like, you know, if a white woman and me was going into the same job at Wall Street, I feel like I wouldn't get the job off the rip just because of me being black, unless I was double and triple times smarter than her and double and triple times better than her. So yes, I do agree with that. But of course it's me, so I don't feel like my complexion is the reason why I made it. But I also I try not to be blind or play dumb to what's really happening in the world.
I think you came in the game at a time where complexion played a part in a lot of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. Like even the videos were like everybody was going with like the lighter girl.
Oh yes, you're absolutely right. But I feel like now it's changing. I feel like a lot of people now are making it their business to be like melanin, and you know that whole trend is very much happening right now, which I love.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going back to that. Everybody getting back to their essence. Everybody starting to claim like people wasn't even claiming their nationality like back in the day. Remember, you ask somebody if they hate you, they be like, "Nah, I'm Jamaican."
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I feel
that's a fact. That's a FENDI.
It's definitely a FENDI.
That's a motherfucking FENDI.
What else? I want to ask you, in like you and you know, knowing your story and how you came in the game through me. Would you do that? So would you right now? And would you do the same thing for an artist, a female artist? Would you go through the trenches with a female artist yourself? Because now the doors, I think a lot of everybody think they can get in the game because of a Nicki Minaj. They feel like, oh, I can do this shit, but it ain't that simple. Would you grab a female artist on the come up, and would you go through what you went through?
I don't know if I would go through as much headache as you put up with for me, because I don't have to, you know. And plus, you was more focused on me, and I would have more than one artist. You had like me and Gravy, and like you wasn't really splitting your time with more other people. You was like making sure we was, you know, trying to pop. So, but I am working on my label, and yes, I am, like, even with the challenge that I was doing for my song, I spotted like a bunch of girls rapping, and from New York, and like they was reminding me of myself, and they was reminding me of the come up era. Like, so yes, I definitely right now am looking for talent. Female rap, female singers, male singers, everybody. Like, I really am. And yes, I am willing to do it now. I never wanted to do it before because I felt like I didn't want to just do it just to do it or just to get a check. Like, you know how people do it just to get a check from a label and stuff like that, and then they don't care about the artist. I wanted to really invest my time and effort.
Is anybody caught your eye, or
people caught my eye? Yeah, I was posting them on my Instagram.
People that you might have liked, or
yeah, it's some girls that I like that I never heard of before.
I remember I dated this girl, right, and I ain't gonna say her name, but so she knew me and your story, and I think she wanted to be you to make me. I was like, so for Halloween. I'm like, yo, you know I don't fuck with Nicki. So she's like, well, I'm Nicki for Halloween. And you posted it. I was mad.
No way!
Yeah, ironically, out of
billions of people.
You posted her on Halloween. I'm like, bitch, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she was like,
good for
she
you.
Started talking like you and all that. I was like, oh, this is
good
crazy.
for you, nigga.
I think that was like
Can't escape me.
And, you know, people will say, like, watching this whole interview, they'll say, well, damn, FENDI, when the last time, you know, because nobody knows, we haven't had a conversation. And what, I'm going to say, what, how many years, I'm pretty sure you got the numbers, what is it, 2000?
I'm not good with numbers. Last
time I saw you was like 2008.
No.
Yes, it was 2008.
No.
I promise you.
8? My album came out in 10. Wow.
I saw you before your album came out. Last time I saw you was in North Carolina, it was at like an after party for like a tour with Lil Wayne, and we kicked it then. And I'm like, all right, out of all this time, so of course I got butterflies at the end of the day. I'm like, you know what? I gotta sit down with this girl, and we gotta come to some type of balance, because moving on in life and trying to prosper, you can't hold no grudges.
But why was you out there dissing me?
Maybe I was, I'm gonna say this. I mean,
hurt?
I know, not really hurt. No, I felt like, let me put it the way, I want to answer this question in a proper way, because if you don't answer it right, you're like, yo, you bitched out on that.
Right.
I feel like part of it was like, I felt like I started something, and when you
didn't reap the benefits of it.
Absolutely. And that goes for anything. When in a relationship, or whatever it might be, if you start something and you don't reap the benefits from it, it's going to be you're going to feel like, hey, But at the end of the day, it was like, I felt like you didn't give me my credit.
Really?
And I felt like
this is so crazy.
I'm telling you.
Everybody in the world knows that.
That's what I felt like.
Everybody, but see, this is what Deb was saying. Like, when people be saying I didn't pay enough homage, whether it's to you or to other people, I be feeling like I know everybody knows how I got my start. But Fendi, at the end of the day, before I dropped my debut album and made it big, me and you fell out. It wasn't like I made it big and then said fuck you, bye. It was like, and you know what I think now, looking back, and I was younger, and now I can put things in perspective. I don't think you were understanding, because we played around so much, and plus you were older than me, so you probably was like, oh, she just nagging, or she just complaining again. You didn't understand that I was really reaching a breaking point, and maybe I didn't articulate that right. You know what I mean? You probably thought, oh, we always get into it, we'll be fine, we'll get through it, But I was going through some shit emotionally. Like, I really was making decisions with my life. Like, I moved from New York, like I drove to Atlanta, like in my car with all my stuff, everything I owned in my car, and I don't think you realize I was just ready to be like, I'm ready, like I have to go, like I can't wait anymore.
No, I got that. I feel like I got that, but I'm telling you, you asked me why was I talking bad about you, or why it was like, all right, cool, here's something.
But my thing is, and I accept that, I respect that, because I probably would feel the same way. But my thing is, we fell out. Like, we had problems. And then I put out a debut album that did, 400,000 in first week. It wasn't like that it wasn't like my success came and then I said, fuck Fendi. Okay. I said, fuck Fendi first.
Okay. You said fuck Fendi before, when we were together, remember that?
Yes, I did on a DVD.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
so niggas is bringing that up 10 years later. She been said fuck you. Right. Then you said Fendi can kick rocks. So you was setting me up for this. Was it all?
No, I never had that plan. No.
Okay, I need to ask you that, because I was like, why? 5 years later, they was bringing up sound bites that you said fuck me. Like, nigga, you didn't get the hints then. I'm like, word. But yeah, I think that's what it was. I felt like, I was young.
But what you wanted me to do? Like, okay, so once we fell out, once I hated your guts, then I made it. You then wanted me to double back? Like,
I just wanted my credit.
But what? How did I?
You didn't.
I never spoke on you when I was.
Because your story would say, Dwayne Carter saw a little girl on a stoop.
No, that's not true. It would always say on the come up DVD. I would always say DVD was heavy at the time. I would always say, and Lil Wayne saw me on the DVD.
But you were kind of like
bypassed it because I wasn't fucking with you.
You was being like me. You was being on some bullshit. Come on, you can't tell the truth. You wasn't gonna.
I don't feel like I'm not that kind of person.
Okay.
I could have name dropped.
Years later, you could have said, "No,
I'm sorry."
I don't want the name drop.
I could have said, "Well, this dude Fendi, he put me." But at times, first of all, I felt like I was telling the story over and over, and sometimes, like you might think that, but
none of my chicks believe me. I used to be like, "Yeah, I discovered her." They'd be like, "Okay."
But that's dumb, Fendi. Like
Lil Wayne discovered her.
Fendi,
I'm telling you, the story to the world was that Lil Wayne discovered Nicki Minaj.
On a DVD that he was on, and I even said there's interviews of me even saying, and Fendi strategically placed me right after Wayne, so that he.
Wasn't that our plan? That was kind of we kind of came together.
Yeah, yes, that was your idea. Look,
That was our plan. It was really like we're gonna
yes.
get this motherfucker to move.
That's right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, Fendi, if you know, if I did, let's say I did 500 interviews. After a while, it's a lot of things that I keep on, like, don't be one to say, because they ask me it all the time, and I be thinking, well, everybody knows this part of my story, so no, I don't have to necessarily go that deep into it. Even when they say with the Lil Wayne question, or how many times you worked you were Red Lobster, like, it be certain questions that's annoying. But I will say, if I'm mad at you,
yeah, fuck you,
and I'm doing an interview, I'm not necessarily gonna be gushing over you, but I did say Lil Wayne discovered me on the Come Up DVD.
But listen, I think, listen, I'm gonna tell you why it was really more. It brought more pain to me, because at the time when you broke the barriers to come in the game, is when people were. It was like history. Mm-hmm. Like, here come a new female who you know, and here's a new female that came out of nowhere, and now she's making noise, and all the other rappers who you know, now you came front and center now. Mm-hmm. So the execs wasn't giving me my credit. They didn't, you know. So of course, it also hurt me financially, because it was like I wasn't getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was salty about that. Mm-hmm. Very salty about that. Mm-hmm. I was bitter. I was like, what the, you know what I'm saying? And
I could tell that you were bitter, and I felt like it was more hurt than anything.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely.
And I
as a man, I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna say that as a man, it was like, you know what? There's a time, you know, people say that they have this saying about give me my flowers while I'm alive. Mm-hmm. So when you came in and you bursted out and things were going crazy, mm-hmm. I wasn't getting my flowers, and I think anybody. But
let me ask you this: before I bursted out and became successful, wasn't you fine with when me and you parted ways? Wasn't you fine with when I said fuck you and I'm going by blah blah blah?
No, I wasn't.
You wasn't running me down saying no, I don't leave. You was fine.
I think you know what? I think.
But then when I made it,
no. Let me tell you why, and you be honest with me. During your great years of success, I have never came out reaching out. I'm not on your social media. I'm not trying to get your number. No, but I could have still been the guy going, hey.
But I would have respected that. If you would have been like, hey, nah, I need to be a part of this equation. I'm such an easy person to speak to, and I'm surprised that you didn't take that choice.
I know. You know what? And that's me being a Cancer. You know, my Cancer ways, I'm stuck in my ways, and sometimes, I tell people all the time, sometimes you would lose out. You know how people would die with 50 million in pride? Mm-hmm. Sometimes your pride will set you back so far.
Absolutely.
That you would be like, you know what? Fuck that. I ain't reaching out to this bitch.
Absolutely. Because if you would have reached out, I know me. Like, I would have been like, I would have respected it. The same thing with Deb. No matter what happened with me and Deb, like, she'll say something or do an interview and say something nice, and I'll reach out instantly. Like, that's just how I am. I'm not gonna. Whether people know or not, I know what everybody did for me. I know who put me on. So, and it's other people that feel like you do too. People that was around
before.
You're talking
about full force in them, right?
People that have been around before you. Yeah. It's just like everybody wants the stamp of I did this for Nicki Minaj. At the end of the day, I did this for Nicki Minaj. But along the way, and my biggest push and my biggest thing was you and the Come Up DVD. Like, the Come Up DVD, for people that don't understand it, it was Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook on steroids. Like, it was everything. And if you wasn't on the Come Up DVD, you wasn't popping. And
that's
like,
FENDI.
And you know, we gelled also just as human beings outside of rap. We always would. We had good banter, like in front of the camera. We was playing, dissing each other, like stuff like that. No. So it just worked. But I just want to make it clear that we weren't cool for a while, and I was out there busting my ass for a while by myself in Atlanta. So it wasn't like I just, you know, as soon as I made it and like I dropped you, like I would never do that.
I think even in Atlanta, you shouted me out. Like, you did like Hood Affairs, like you would shout me out. I'm not even taking it from that part. I'm saying that at a point where, you know how, say, you know, you build a house and the equity grows tremendously, but nobody says you built it.
But what if you took a cut? But what if on that same house, You don't think that house is whatever, or whatever, for whatever reason, you say, you know what, just give me a little bit of money right now, let me get the fuck up out of here, because I don't know if this house is going to be worth $10 million, I don't want the headache. And then that house sells $10 million, now you want them to double back and say, hey, come back for some more money, house, man?
No. I don't think I did that per se. I felt like I always owned up to Nicki Minaj.
But Fendi, my thing is this. You have to understand, we were not cool right up until...
No, absolutely. We wasn't cool at all. We parted
ways. I was mad at how you were marketing me and promoting me. And you have to understand, I'm a female. I was always business savvy, and you know that. I was always strong-minded. People think money made me that way. I was always that way. I always had set things in how I wanted to act. When I was about to go down and meet Wayne... I told my husband, like, me and you spoke about, like, how Wayne is going, you know how Wayne feels like everybody probably wants to bust it open for him, and how I was going to be acting in there, so he knew I was a different type of person. We would speak about everything throughout my career.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Before we even, I always date back to when we first met Wayne. You remember that? Kind of like, your memory is great. You got a good memory, but anyway, Wayne reached out, and we met in North Carolina.
Oh, you mean how we met Wayne? Yes, I stayed on Wayne's bus for like hours playing him music, and he really listened. Remember, he listened to all my songs.
I wasn't there. Remember, I was in jail.
Whatchamacallit? How's Reg?
Reg is chilling. Reg always...
Did he take me? Who took me?
Reg took you. Yeah. Reg took you. Reg always, like, he can't pronounce Nicki, so he'd be like, Nicki. Shout out to Reg, man. I still love Reg. I did a big birthday party. He showed up recently. Like I was saying, even in a nutshell with that, like, I just feel like I'm glad that it took growth from me as well as yourself. Yeah. You know, and DJ Booth, shout out to him. He was in my ear like last year. I was in Hawaii. He called me in his room and gave me this long lecture about life and yo man, this is that. And I'm over here like, and he put it in my head, but then he left, and I'm sitting here like, and he gave me a number on the low. He was like, yo, but
you about to get Booth punched right in his neck.
He was like, yo man, I'm telling you man, y'all need to fix this shit. And I was like, you know what?
Word.
I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this. And when I reached out, I was surprised with the reaction. It was like, you was like ugly. Like,
did I say something like, "What's up, ugly"?
Yeah, I was. But you know, it was at first. I think I hit you with it was a guy who met you.
Oh yeah.
On MySpace years ago. Even for people that don't know how we met, I met her years ago on MySpace. I don't know. I think it was like 2006. When that was like the first, to me, that was like the first social media platform.
Of course, yeah.
Was it before Facebook?
Yes.
Yeah, we met on MySpace, and I reached out to her, and she thought I was some stalker guy who just wanted to get a phone number. You said, what did I say to you first?
You said, can I have some? And I didn't respond. And I went to Bundy and said, who is this man? And Bundy was like, nah, he could get you popping.
Yeah, and I think from there it was like, but I like the fact when you showed up, when we first met for the first time, you showed up with the energy ready to work.
I used to have my rap books.
Everybody hated on you though. When you first came around.
That's crazy that you just said that earlier.
Yeah, everybody, when you first came around me, they was like, man, what are you going to do with a female rapper? What is that about? And then I was like, man, listen, you watch. And,
but what made you have even the insight to think that it was time for a female rapper, though? I never got to ask you that. Like,
I always love female rap. I grew up with the Little Kims. I grew up with the Foxies. I grew up with Queen Latifah's, and I never was a big fan of Lauryn Hill, even though that's the good for you.
That's my best.
Because Lauryn Hill only had one album.
Yeah.
So I'm me being from Brooklyn.
But she also did so much with the Fugees, so it balances a little.
Yeah. So I never really got into her, but at that point I'm like, yo, the game can use a female, and it was something that nobody wasn't really searching.
But let me ask you something. Were you actively looking for a female rapper, or I just happened to rap?
You was having to rap.
Yeah, I figured that.
I wasn't
looking
for a female rapper.
I think so.
But you know what? I might say I was looking for a female rapper because Gravy had Biggie. He had Biggie.
The Biggie vibes.
He had the Biggie vibes, and I felt like, yo, it's time to maybe try to revamp something from that era, but with a twist to it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what I felt it was. Shout out to Gravy, man. I haven't spoken to him in a long time either. But,
he's hit me up a couple times. Yeah? I think I follow him on
Instagram. Shout out to him, man.
Because he was in the movie that I did, Barbershop. The Barbershop movie. He had a little small role in that movie, so we ended up...
I got love for him, though. I tarnished him for like 3 years. Like, I kept... I was on my bully shit at the time. But shout out to Grady, man. Love you, man.
Good.
I'm in a better space, greater energy.
And I think that's what happens. When you yourself are in a better space, it seems like things around you just start mending and working out. And that's the space I'm in. Like, when your energy is love and openness, the universe gives you so much. It's just like you put it out, you say what you want, and God just gives it to you. And that's where I am in my life.
You think that is people, can you say it's people that are around you at the time that makes your energy better?
Of course.
Yeah, I agree to that too. I feel like if you got great energy around you, it only puts off great energy. But when you bring, like, even back then, I had negative energy around me. Like, everybody would be like, yo, fuck that bitch.
Wow.
Yo, she gonna be a summer jam, son. Let's pull her. So it was like a bunch of, this is what, nowadays the game, a lot of street guys are trying to find their way in the game. So they bring the negative vibes around certain people to try to feel like that's their end.
Oh, right. You're absolutely right.
I'm pretty sure you probably went through that.
But
I appreciate the sit down.
Thank you.
Hopefully.
And I'm sure there's other things that we're going to do. I'm sure this is, just...
This is like a little rocky. I wanted to sit down with you and just, air out my little, my little situation and get over it.
And so for the record...
Do you love me?
Yes. For the record, let me just say for your fans on NASA FENDI, FENDI may not think that I've given him the credit, but he definitely deserves all the credit. This man put in so much work, time, effort, energy, and genuine love and belief in me. And I will never forget that. And that's why at this place where I am in now, I want to be of help, to him in any way I can. And, I know that only good things will come out of it, because when I look back at those DVDs, like, sometimes I literally cry. When I look back at certain, like, pieces of footage, like, it makes me emotional, because I just remember that sky was the limit then, and we didn't know where this was going to take us, but we was having fun. I will say that, like, we were having fun. And I also will say that throughout my career, I've always said, like, I've been trying, not necessarily to duplicate you, but I wish that there was someone like you in my career for the last 10 years as well, who is more like that energy, that New York, that just I don't give a fuck energy. Like, because the thing is, sometimes people come in your life, whether they manage you or whatever, and if you're afraid of your artist, it's not good. Like, you need to be able to kick that door down and say, bitch, wake up, get on this flight, and da-da-da. And I would always say shit like that. Like, I could imagine, like, that Dame Dash energy, just, like, not caring. Like, no matter how big that artist is or gets, you knew them before they were that. And you should be, able to say anything to that person, no matter how big or famous or whatever. And I used to always say, like, Dad, I wish I had somebody like that who would just have that raw, in your face energy with me, as opposed to being on eggshells and, just tippy-toeing around stuff. Because I'm such a upfront person, and so are you. So, I think that worked really well. That got me working very quickly, got me working hard. Even like with times, like, I don't know if you remember that time when it was freezing fucking cold, and you had just landed, and you was like, yo, let's shoot the Click Clack video. And I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? It's freezing cold. It was like snowing. It was about to start snowing. And I got to sit up there wearing some tank top and be cold. But you know what? We got it done. So that type of energy behind somebody that's talented, it brings out the best in them, You
remember that then we went to somebody's basement and shot a video. So I think it was, the freestyle's called Dirty Money Freestyle. But tell a bitch with the crown and run like Chris Brown.
We was in somebody's basement.
You had buggers in you was like the whole night, like, yo, what the hell? It's freezing in here. Yeah.
Don't say boogers, say snot.
Well, it was snot, And I'm like, yo, this girl is going hard, yo. Yo, we had actually went on Jamaica Avenue and put an outfit together in like 10 minutes and just shot the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, late night, yeah. It's all good. Listen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Yes, God bless you with this FENDI show as well.
Best of luck, man. Give me a hug.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. This wasn't a fake hug, right?
This ain't no fake hug. This is a real hug. But peace out and look out for more stuff from me and FENDI, the person who put me on.
My nigga, hey, check this out, right? One thing for sure, two things for certain, my nigga. Never trust a nigga who looks down, looks back up, then looks at you while having a conversation. To me, and from what I know from experience, bullshit is brewing in the back while fuck shit is coming out the front. You know what I'm saying? That's what I took from this whole thing. Just looking at this man and, nah, G, something ain't right with you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, shout out to that nigga for supporting her back in the day, bringing that craft to the stage and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We needed that. But yeah, that was a cool little interview right there. Two grown ass people sitting down talking. But you know, one thing for sure, two things for certain, my nigga. I don't fuck with grown ass men who can be bitter. There is no time, nor space, nor energy for that. You know what I'm saying? Those type of men is unpredictable to me. And that's just not a trait that a man should have. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold grudges. I don't be bitter. I don't argue, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm either gonna beat your ass or I'm not. I fuck with you or I don't. You know what I'm saying? If I don't fuck with you, I'm not even finna speak on you because you're not even relevant to me. Somebody bring you up to me because I'm finna be like, who? Oh yeah, that part. But shout out to Nicki Minaj. That was a dope little interview for what it was worth. Drop me a comment. Let me know the fuck you think.